Even though there is lots of hype about Bitcoin nowadays, there are many who still don't understand what Bitcoin is, or what it does. Is it absolutely perfect? Well, nor was email when it was created in 1972. In my opinion, this is the best Bitcoin clarification you will ever come across. If you have a friend or relative that doesn't exactly comprehend digital money, send him or her this, they will thank you. What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is the world's first cryptographic money, and it works in view of the world's most memorable public blockchain network. What does Bitcoin do? It's straightforward. It allows you to send and receive value to and from anybody on the planet, using just a computer and an internet connection. For what reason is it revolutionary? Since, dissimilar to every other device for sending cash over the web, it works without the need to trust a go-between. The absence of any intermediaries means that Bitcoin is the world's first public digital payment system. And by public, I simply mean accessible to all and not owned by any single entity. Presently we have public foundation for data, for websites, for email, it's called the web. Be that as it may, the main public payments foundation that we have is cash, as in paper cash, and it just works in up-close and personal exchanges. Prior to Bitcoin, to pay someone remotely via telephone or the web, you were unable to utilize public infrastructure. You would depend on a private bank to open their books and add a record entry that charges you and credits the individual you're paying. And if you both don't utilize the same bank, well then, there'll be numerous banks and numerous records in between. With Bitcoin, the record is the public blockchain, and anyone can add an entry to that record, moving their Bitcoins to another person. Anyone, no matter what their nationality, race, religion, orientation, sex, or credit value, can, for absolutely no cost, create a Bitcoin address to receive payments digitally. Bitcoin is the world's first globally open public money. Is it perfect? No. Nor was email when it was developed in 1972. Bitcoin's not the most ideal currency on every front. It's not yet accepted everywhere, it's not often used to quote prices, and it's not always a stable store of value. However, it is working, and the simple fact that it works without trusted intermediaries is astonishing. It's a computer science breakthrough, and it will be as significant for freedom, prosperity, and human thriving as the birth of the web. What's more, Bitcoin is only the start. On the off chance that we can supplant private installments foundation, then we can supplant other confidential stifle focuses to human communication too. Presently, for what reason would it be advisable for us to need to fabricate more open framework? For what reason would it be advisable for us to embrace blockchains over corporate mediators? For what reason would it be advisable for us to endure their shortcomings and work to make them better? For what reason would it be advisable for us to want the trailblazers of this innovation here in the US and not escaping abroad? A basic explanation is that the corporate go-betweens providing today's critical yet exclusive infrastructure are becoming fewer, larger, and more powerful. Their failures are, well, increasingly grave. So generally 50% of all Americans, 143 million individuals, had their social security numbers exposed to hackers due to a breach at Equifax. The SWIFT network has transferred hundreds of millions of dollars in fraudulent transactions because of hacked member banks in Bangladesh, Vietnam, Ecuador, and Russia. The FBI believes now that the largest of these hacks was executed by North Korea. Degenerate low-level workers at an Indian bank, Punjab Public, had the option to deceitfully guarantee quick messages taking $1.8 billion. It's the largest electronic bank theft in history. Truth be told, it's the largest bank theft in history. In October 2016, an estimated 1.2 million web-connected devices were hacked and transformed into a botnet that, for a few hours, made visible websites inaccessible across Europe and North America. This included CNN, Fox News, the New York Times, and the Money Road Diary. Increasingly, actual machines are being connected to the web to enhance their capabilities. They're wired through servers that are owned and maintained by private and trusted representatives, the so-called Web of Things. Presently, those weaknesses are unpreventable in systems that have single weak spots. It doesn't matter if the weak spot is a company or if it's a government. There shouldn't be a weak link. Confidential enterprises are fundamental, but no critical infrastructure should rely on a few web-removed weak links. In communications infrastructure, an influx of competition among new media companies is building on top of its public rails. Blockchains can also disintermediate essential payments and IoT infrastructure. The technology isn't yet ready to answer those questions today, but it is our best hope. And just like with the internet during the 1990s, we need a light-touch, pro-innovation policy to ensure that these developments flourish in America for the benefit and security of all Americans and people around the world. If you're keen on learning about cryptocurrencies, subscribe yourself and stay informed.